by government abandoning their work, they're actually making you do government work. These are government bills. And the circumstances you have explained are real, that this parliament is coming to an end. We may not have time. But this government, I don't know whether ministers are, maybe they are scared. You have bills that you have brought. You know there is no time. It shouldn't be the speaker proposing that you suspend the rules. One of you should have come here ready with a motion to suspend the rules. But you behave as if you don't live here, and many of you are all the MPs. Because we have hurried. I have been in the hotel when we are writing these things. This finance was supposed to appear to explain certain provisions in the law. They never appeared. But we understand the circumstances. You just make the speaker and parliament look ugly. Things that you know. Why don't you come here yourself?
But I am not ugly.
And move. Madam, you begin looking bad before the public that you are the one suspending rules. There is a whole government with lawyers like both of us who are professional lawyers.
I'm saying government is here.
You called the chief whip, you can see, doesn't even know what to do. Because they never prepare, they just trickle in as if they are going to look after cows. When the committee sat, we are told the finance that was supposed to come and explain, all of them had gone to Washington. Because this should be their responsibility. I can take information from Honorable Dole.
Honorable members, it is so unfortunate. I had actually proposed that maybe we could have looked at these bills tomorrow. But we cannot do it. We still have to pay tribute to our colleague. That is equally important for us as members of parliament. But that does not stop us from proceeding. Let's proceed. Yes, Government Chief Whip.
Right Honorable Speaker, let me first inform the Honorable Ssemujju that when you see me perusing through my phone, I want to rise, and when I rise, I quote the rules as it is. I now beg to move under Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure. And they say, lawyers say, a good lawyer is not the one who knows the law, but the one who knows where to find the law. When you see me touching my phone, I am finding where the law is. So let me quote for you Rule 17. Madam Speaker, Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure is on suspension of certain rules that are not, there are rules that are entrenched and there are rules that are not entrenched. May I get a hard copy? Just give me a hard copy. No, I have it. And allow technological advancement. Rule 17, scrolling from 17 to 214. I am scrolling from Rule 17 to Rule 214. Rule 17 states, Madam Speaker, a member may, with the consent of the Speaker, move that a rule be suspended in its application to a particular motion before the House. You were hearing the Speaker calling the Government Chief Whip, implying I had notified her under Rule 17, Sub-Rule 1, that I intend to move this motion. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, I now move that Rule 214 be suspended in order for the House to proceed to consider the report of the Committee on Finance on the tax-related bills as moved by the Minister of Finance, Planning, and Economic Development. I therefore move under Rule 17 that Rule 214 be suspended to allow the House to proceed. The reason or justification is that
I first want to get a secondment before I ask for a justification. seconded by O.O., Honorable O.O., Honorable Kasai, Honorable Katesh, Honorable Amos, Honorable Irbanda, Honorable Nekesa, Honorable Alanyo, Honorable Mara, Honorable Obua, Honorable Minister of Finance, Grania, Elders, Alex, Black, Gabriel, would you justify why you want the suspension?
Right Honorable Speaker, my justification is on time. The budget for the 2026-2027 will be passed not by the 12th Parliament, that takes shape in May, but by the 11th Parliament, whose tenure, you are aware that swearing in starts on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the 12th Parliament. They can do it. Budget is time-bound. It is a statutory requirement that has time limitations. So there is no way this process can move to the next Parliament. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I move and my justification is on time. Our rules require that when a report is presented, we debate it after 3 days. I have therefore moved because the rule under which we are moving is not an entrenched rule. The justification why I am saying under Rule 17, we suspend the provision under 214 that requires 3 days for this report to be debated. We debate it now, such that the 11th Parliament, which is on transition, can have the opportunity to execute its constitutional mandate of appropriation after the tax bills are passed or amended. I beg to move.
Madam Chair, the clarification I want to ask the Chief Whip. Where is it written? No, I've been allowed by him. Where is it written?
Honorable Nathan, there's still one chair, even when she's your...
Madam Chair. So let me make just... Omara. So, yes, so Madam Chair,
members,
Madam Chair, just...
Can we first finish to get the justification, then you come? And incidentally, you made a very good submission. And you have my support. You finished. I now put a question.
No, Madam Chair, no. Madam Chair, just before you put a question, just your full intelligence. Madam Chair, the reason why you are standing up is to ask you just under the justification from the Chief Whip that the Parliament is about to expire. There was a court ruling that office will never be empty. You remember when the DP went to court and whatever. So it means, Madam Chair, under our rules, there is nowhere where it is written that a certain Parliament should pass a certain bill or what. The moment a Parliament is here, that is a Parliament. It can do any business of the House. And Madam Chair, that's why we are seeking your indulgence. That is the justification which is wrong, which I wanted to put across first. Because even this budget we're trying to work on will be effective from 1st July 2026 and not immediately in May. So, Omar, if you are not aware, I want to teach you because we're going to leave you here. So we wanted to there should be another better justification other than that. And why we're raising it is that we want the Minister of Finance we seek your indulgence that, yes, we have lost a colleague. We are very bitter by feeling bad about our colleague. And tomorrow we are going to be in the House. If you don't mind, we could move this to Thursday or Friday. We would do here. Even if you move on Saturday, we shall be here to work with you. And we add more value because the tax bills we are passing have a direct implication to all citizens in this country, whether you want it or not. You see, this Romara here you are seeing, Stambik is about to finish him because of loan. And it's when one of them was complaining he has not got his tax VAT refund and whatever. In any case, you will see him here. So,
Honorable Nathan, Honorable Nathan, your argument is defective. The budgeting process is a consultative process. You are not going to bring in new members of parliament who have not been part of the process from BFP, ministerial statement, just to pass a budget. Honorable OO.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First, it is not prudent for us to sit very early morning of this House and try to create impression that we are casual about national matters. A person dressed in a suit can never be seen to be casual. A parliament that usually sits at 2 and now is sitting at 10 is not a casual matter. For the future readers of this parliament, answered should know that the one who was saying that was more casual than the statement. Right Honorable Speaker, the government chief whip has moved successfully a motion for suspension under Rule 17. Rule 17 is made in such a way that not to cause crisis in the House, in the running of business. Rule 17 is to cure matters which are time sensitive in the legislative process. I would only have loved to hear the other side of presidential candidate and my other friend, and to respond that this, when a motion like that has been moved, the other side can only come and say, what you're citing is not right. This rule 214 is entrenched. And that the debate would be around there. But where it is very clear that the justification has been made, this is time barred, this is not the first parliament to suspend those rules. I really want to appeal to my friend Jonathan and, we should first acknowledge that they raised the procedural issue, which has now been harmonized, so that we go on. Rule 17 is to cure. It lists a number of rules which cannot be suspended. Is 214 one of those rules? That's the question this House can determine, and we proceed.
It is not one of those rules.